Alright, so it's time for another parts roundup. I've got a bunch of new stuff in, frames, motors, stacks, etc. I'm going to list everything down in the video description, and if there's anything that you are very urgently wanting to see a review on, I would recommend you comment down below with what your levels of interest are in whatever the products you see in this video, and I'll take that feedback into account for timing of the future videos, if any of this stuff will end up showing up on my channel again. So we'll start off with this budget F7 stack from this company called Sologood. So they're a store on AliExpress, and I've actually shopped with them before, but it looks like they're branching out to start a website and selling parts on their website, and this is their, I guess, one of the first ones that they're offering. It's a budget 30 by 30 stack. It's $60, and it's a pretty good price here. So the flight controller is an F7 F722, and the 4-in-1 ESC is a 60 amp BLHeli-S ESC. So this is going to be for your 5 to 7 inch quads. There isn't any conformal coating on this. Is pretty basic. So let me just show one at a time here so you get a close-up look at the flight controller. Nice big pads, and you can see the silk screening on the pads there, so you can read what they are. USB-C, pretty thin PCB for 30 by 30. Here's the other side here. It looks like you have two voltage regulators, probably a 5 volt and a 9 volt. You'll be able to fight OSD chip. You're going to have all your various, the wiring harness goes from the ESC to the flight controller. You got your capacitor there. This is 1000 microfarad 35 volt. Got your gummies there for the flight controller and ESC, and some M3 long screw stack screws here for putting on your frame. So pretty standard here. And here's a look at the 4-in-1 ESC. And it's a version 1 BLHeli-S. Pretty decent looking. There's the wiring harness there, but they also have solder pads to wire up your motor wires, so that's kind of nice. Here's the other side. Can't really tell much by just looking at it, but it looks pretty basic. Not super thick. I would think it's probably a good choice for maybe something long range. Not as 100% sure what I'm going to be using this for. I don't really fly a lot of big stuff much more anymore these days. So let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions, something you'd like to see. And then this does come with an XD60 connector. But anyway, yeah, it's $60, a pretty good price if you're looking for some kind of a budget 30 by 30 stack. This is one of the cheapest ones I've seen in F7. So I did post something on my Instagram on these lava lipos. I got a bunch of them. These are the 300 milliamp hour 1S ones. I'm going to be getting various ones in over time. I have these are using the folded cell, I guess, technique to build the lipo, which in this case this is going to be the same as the NewbieDrone 1S lipos and the Tattoo 1S lipos. I believe a lot of the Tiny Whoop ones also Weebleed FPV use the folded cell technique, so this is going to have probably pretty similar performance. I'm pretty sure this is not coming from the same factory as the Tattoo and NewbieDrone ones, but yeah, I'll have some thoughts on these in future videos. I think I might have talked about this one already in one of my whip conversions. These seem to be very similar in terms of voltage sag, which is that the main thing about the folded cell lipos is that they don't have a lot of voltage. They don't have a lot of voltage sag when you're doing a lot of high throttle maneuvers compared to like a regular G&B battery or some other off-brand battery. These tend to be a little bit better. So, and this is pretty much priced about the same as the Tattoo and NewbieDrone battery, so they're not the cheap ones. The G&B ones are a little bit cheaper, but of course they don't use that folded cell setup for the building of the lipo. All right, I got a motor here from Flyfish RC. This is a 2004 motor, Flash series, and this one is 2900 kV, so probably good for a 5-inch prop on 4S. We have plenty of motor wires. You can see here The windings look pretty decent. Nice smooth bearings here, very smooth. And the bell is a nice glossy finish, black paint. Let's look at the other side. So this one here is probably, or is definitely going to go onto this frame here. This is the Tony 5 ultralight 5-inch, and I kind of partially built it, so the rest of the parts are in the bag that it came with here. You can see some stickers, but this is kind of reminds me a lot of like the Oh My God, the 250, the 5-inch and the 3.5-inch that I built. So kind of with these sort of, this little design feature here where the standoffs are, it's kind of really similar. And also with this, super skinny arms, this is obviously going to be targeting sub 250 builds, and that's what the 2004 motors are for. I think I'm going to use a stack here. I'll show you that stack here in a second. It's from a different company. So there's this, they sent me this frame here. Obviously you have to build it yourself. I mean, I have their other frames as well, the Volador, the 5 and the 3.5-inch. Their carbon is very nice. It's very clean, chamfered, no sharp edges. You can see here like things like these countersunk screws to make things nice and flat. For example, little things here that make the frame a lot nicer for the money. They're not terribly pricey. They're not. I think this one's like around $50. I know that some frames are pushing $100 these days or more. So it's good to see that. And then this is their new 4-inch long range, the Atlas 4. Both of these have these camera mounts here for DJI-03, and they come with these silicone dampeners so that there's no vibrations or jello in your video. I'm not going to be putting 03 into this one here because props are going to show in the view. Probably won't use that 03 in this one either because I just don't have enough of those around. I'm going to probably go walk snail on that one, and probably walk snail on this one here. I have some other motors I'll show you from a different company that'll probably go on this one. So I'm going to be mixing and matching some of these builds here from the various parts I'm getting. And then they do come with some extra 3D printed parts here, as you can see, and you get a GoPro mount there and motor bumpers. I tend to not use those just because there's extra weight, and there's some battery shops extra, and there's those silicone dampeners for the camera mounts. 19 millimeters and 20 millimeters, and then a whole bunch of screws. I like their frames here. They are very nice and clean. The cuts are very precise. Screws, the hardware is really good, and all the hardware, the screws are nicely labeled, so you know exactly what's what. And then there's a manual, an assembly manual. You have to download a PDF file on their website. Go to their support section. You can get that. It's very easy to figure out how to put these together. But things like, again, you have your countersunk screws here, and then these press fit nuts here. So it's very, the whole frame build is super clean looking. So of course, it's hard to say how durable this is and everything. Of course, I'm not one to fly these into a brick wall or anything like that, but they look a lot. I mean, if you look at a 4-inch frame out there, this is pretty similar to a lot of other ones that are already on the market. This is another frame from Flyfish called the 55, and it looks like that. I'll put up another picture on the screen. I have not even opened this one yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to build this or not. Probably leaning towards not, because I'm kind of getting rid of a lot of my 5-inch quads, as you probably know from all my giveaways. I have kind of lost interest in 5-inch in general. All right, got a flight controller and an ESC from this another new company that is sending me stuff. They're called MEPS, or MEPS King, I guess is their website. So they've been bugging me about stuff for a while, and I don't really know what the reputation is of this company, as they're pretty new. But their stuff it looks pretty decent. Of course, I have no idea until I fly it. But this is one of their, I think, 20 by 20 parts here. This is a 4-in-1 ESC. I believe this is 40 amps, and then it comes with an XD60. And you got your capacitor, wiring looms, and your grommets there for the vibration dampening. So pretty standard stuff that an ESC comes with. So they sell this separately. It doesn't come as a stack, so you have to buy them individually. But it looks okay. This has some conformal coating, as you can see. It's nice and shiny there on this one side, but not on this side. Pretty big motor pad, or pads for your motor wires there, a lot of capacitors. So again, I have no idea, but I think what I'm going to do is put this into the Tony 5 frame there. You can see the 20 by 20 stack screws already in, and this stack with those 2004 motors from Flyfish, and then this here is the 20 by 20 ESC, or sorry, the flight controller. So this is got USB-C. I think this is the bottom, and again, all the pads have pretty nice silk screening, so you can see it's pretty easy to tell what's what. And then here's the other side. Looks like that black box chip there, and this is F722. It's got 2 voltage regulators. If you want to see the full specs, just click the link in the description. It'll take you to the product page for all the details on this. And then also this one will include your standard vibration gummies there, and wiring looms. Looks like the only ones you have connected is probably this one goes to the ESC, and then probably this one here is for DGI. That's one or the other. So this will probably work for Walk-Snail, DGI, HD0 for those digital systems. And this company MEPS, they did send a motor. It's called MEPS. So there's a silver and green color here. This is a 1404, I believe. Yes, it's a 1404, 4600 kV, kind of high kV, and it's got a kind of a notchy. The magnets are very strong on this one. You can kind of hear it. Put this one here on the Atlas 4. This 1404 is probably going to work pretty well here, but at this higher kV, maybe I'll go 3S instead of 4S on this one, or go 4S with a motor output limit. We'll see when I get around to that build. So apparently they also make propellers. So this is a tiny whip propeller, 31 millimeters. Obviously you can't tell much by just looking at the propeller. Looks pretty similar to like what is it? HQ prop. Make something similar to this one here. So they only sent me one, so I'll probably see how efficient this is compared to the latest Gem Van one, which is currently my favorite. So this has a sort of a bull-nosed edge, so it's probably going to be a little bit noisier than the Gem Van and probably not as efficient. That's just my guess, just based on looking at it. And they've got a 5-inch prop, or a 4942, I guess a 4.9-inch prop. So this is going to go on your 5-inch frames. And yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff that's out there: Foxier props, HQ prop, etc. Gem Van. Propellers don't really excite me too much anymore, but I'll give it a try, and then if you're curious, ask me in a future video and I'll let you know. Got another frame here. This is all the TPU parts. I'll just throw this picture up on the screen because I didn't have a chance to put this together. This comes with this file here, and it's because this is a budget frame, and they're expecting you to, chamfer the edges, because it's probably just sharp cuts here that just feel pretty sharp through the plastic bag. And if it looks familiar, this is a clone of the Beta FPV X-Night 35, so for 3.5-inch propellers. It's not 100% exactly the same, but it's really, really close. And it's coming in at a really low price. It's like $17. So the X-Night 35 was discontinued off of the Beta FPV site quite a while ago, a couple of years ago. I still have mine, the fully built one. I put some different motors on there now, I think 1804 motors, but I'm going to try do another build here for like a 3.5-inch lightweight with naked DJI 03, and we'll see how that turns out if you're curious. But that's what this file's for. It's because instead of filing it for you at the factory, which takes them time and cost, and they'll pass that cost on to you, they just gave you the file and said, you do the work and we'll give you the frame for a cheaper price. So I already have a bunch of these, so because I've bought some cheaper frames from AliExpress before, so I have a bunch of these. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do, to file these down. You just run under some water and then just file it under the water so that the dust doesn't get in the air. It just goes down the drain. And it just takes some time, but you can basically make it as, the edges as smooth as you'd like, or as much as you want. But yeah, I'm going to definitely be building this one out at some point. Not sure exactly when, but I want to do another, like a 3.5 inch ultralight DJI 03 and kind of compare it to like the Baby Hawk 03 that I reviewed a few months back. So I think that is it in terms of this roundup here. Links down in the video description again, as always, for everything. And then I'm sure I just glossed over the major specs. So if you're looking for specific details on specs, click the link in the video description. I'll take you to the product page, and then there's obviously going to be specs there for you guys to take a look at. Anyway, that's going to cover for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.